latest issue of V8 Sleuth Magazine. Cool magazine. I subscribed to it as soon as it came out. Couldn't get onto it fast enough. Now, there's not a hope in hell that I would sit here and promote a magazine or an article that's about me and my car. This is actually my 1995 EF Falcon Mitre 10 sponsored touring car. But in this case, the V8 Sleuth asked me to, because the story of this car does need to be told. It was really unique. I guess in a nutshell, what happened was we'd had success in open wheelers with a bunch of guys I'd used on and off that were just the best in class. Great guys, great engineers. And the time came to enter touring car racing, so we applied what we all knew collectively, particularly those engineers, to designing a race car, a touring car, using probably more typical race car open wheeler philosophy and design philosophy in the car. Now, yep, on the track, ultimately that car didn't prevail, didn't succeed as we had hoped. We had, I would suggest, way too many cool, innovative bits on the car, perhaps a little bit ahead of its time, and we didn't have the money, the resource, or the time to develop it properly. And that's kind of sad, and that's on me. But this story, and I wanted this story, I said to Noons, this must be a celebration of the parts and those people that built that car, because you got to remember, this is 1994, we were building this car for the 95 season, and this is pre-CAD design. This is pre-CNC mills and lathes. The parts, and there were 100 of milled parts, for example, and fabricated parts. The milled parts were made from the creative minds and the hands of those creative engineers on the tiller wheels of cutting tools making these parts. I mean, for me, it's a story about human endeavour in the pursuit of performance, and there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So it's a good story, and the car didn't prevail, but I have a sweet spot for that car and everything it represented, because at the end of the day, we're racers. In fact, I kept a swag of parts from the car. You know, here's a carbon fibre steering column we did for it, because I was sitting so far back and central. Aluminium spindle, who would have thought? And aluminium little wheel nuts, very similar to what's on a size and spec to a Gen 3 car 30 years later. Intake manifolds, we did our own intake manifold system. A lot of work there. These were the beautifully milled by Bruce Carey. They're the bucks to make carbon fibre trumpets. I mean, that you'd mount those on a wall. Just glorious. What else have I got here? I want to show you this. My favourite part on the car, perhaps outside of the carbon fibre seat, and I'm just going to show you that carbon fibre seat. I sort of sat in the car almost like sitting in an open wheeler. There's a great little picture of it in here. There's the seat there. You can see it was a whole capsule. Now, we saw that emerge in cars maybe, I don't know, 2 decades later. That was pretty cool. It allowed me to sit very low, a long way back in the car. But one of my favourite bits, if not the favourite bit the boys designed, this plate with a bearing mounted underneath the engine of the car, that mounted there, that is our anti-roll bar. Not a big tube going across the car with blades on it like we've seen for many, many years. This was the anti-roll bar. So that sat in under there on a bearing, so that could move like this. There was 2 push rods that went out either side to a plate that was mounted on the chassis rail. Again, a beautiful hand-milled part that had a rocker on it that allowed another push rod to go down to the outer wishbone that gave us great control, as a race car should. Control of movement of the anti-roll bar. And the roll bar, because as you can see, like any roll bar, it's like a knife, that could then also rotate anywhere you want it to make it soft or hard. I mean, for me, beautiful, clever design by Steve Dewhurst, and was indicative of so many things on the car. So if you like a car story like I do, and you like the backstory, a little bit of the techo stuff, I reckon you're going to enjoy this issue. And I enjoyed it because not only did it have that, it had a great feature in here about Scafie. I'm going to give this a plug while I'm here, because this was from the same period. And this was Scafie in the post-Winfield, the post-cigarette era, and a car that he probably didn't enjoy like I didn't enjoy mine, although I do have that sweet spot for it. So, hey, if you're into it, I reckon you're going to enjoy this one.